All right, so today we're going to be talking about solving subtraction equations. We worked on solving addition equations. Now we're working on solving subtraction equations. So why don't you pause the recording, go grab your math book, turn to page 294 so you can kind of follow along. I think it'll help you with your understanding if you do that. Pause the recording, go grab it. Okay, so with solving subtraction equations, there's also another property we're going to look at. We looked at the subtraction property of equality before. Now we're looking at the addition property of equality. And it's exactly the same, but just with addition. And it makes sense. You look at the example, 5 equals 5. And you know that you add 2. If you add 2 to each side, it's going to equal 7, both sides. So the equation remains true.
We're still looking for iPads from Arlette Sosa, Claire Berman, and Seth Lund. Arlette Sosa, Claire Berman, and Seth Lund, return your iPads immediately, please.
Well, as you can see, I'm doing this at school, and there's going to be interruptions over the intercom, so hopefully that doesn't happen again. But when you are adding the same number to both sides, it remains equal. So let's take 13, for example. If we added 3 and added 3, it would still equal 16. Okay, both would equal 16. Same, if you're working with 25, if you add 12 to one side and you also add 12 to the other side, the sides are going to be equal because one will equal 37 and the other will equal 37. So now we're going to be doing the same thing we did with addition equations with subtraction equations, just using the other property. So the steps are exactly the same. Draw a line straight down through the equal sign. You find the variable and you figure out what's being done. In this case, we're subtracting, so we're going to do the adding, do the opposite. 13, whatever you do to one side of the variable, do to the other, plus 13. Negative 13 plus 13, this is just going to give you 0. D minus 0 is equal to 11 plus 13 is going to give you 24. So this really says D equals 24. This, when you're adding the 13 right here, it basically just cancels it out. So you're left with D on one side. Okay, let's look at another problem. Let's look at K minus 4.7. Same exact steps. You're going to draw a line down through the equal sign. Whatever's being done, in this case we're subtracting, so we're going to add 4.7. Whatever you do to one side of the equal sign, you're going to do to the other, so we're going to add 4.7 on the other side. This cancels out. You're left with 0, K minus 0, equals, then we just do a little addition on the other side. 8 plus 7 is going to give you 15. 5, 6 plus 4 is going to give you 10. 10.5 is your answer. K equals 10.5. All right, let's look at one more. You've got negative 12 is equal to Z minus 3. You draw your line straight down through. What's being done? We're subtracting, so we're going to add 3 to both sides. This is going to cancel out. Z minus 0. Now on the other side, we're working with integers. So we've got a negative 12 plus 3. We notice that we're adding a positive with a negative, so we're going to circle the larger number, find the difference. Minus 3, that's going to give us 9. The answer is going to be negative 9. Z equals negative 9. Okay, if that was confusing, rewind the recording a little bit and watch me do that again. Let's move on to another one. Oh, I was going to do fractions, but I guess we don't need to. I want you to pause the recording and solve these 3 problems. Okay, have a piece of paper, solve these 3 problems, and then let's see how well you do. Okay, so for the first problem, problem 2, I'm going to write it down. X minus 8 equals 15. I'm going to draw my line. Let me change the colors. I'm going to draw my line straight down through the equal sign. I'm going to add 8 to both sides. That's going to leave me with x minus 0 on this side, or just x. 8 plus 15, when I add 8 to 15, I'm going to get 23. So x equals, in this case, 23. Now let's look at the next one. b minus 23 is equal to negative 29. Changing the color, draw your line. You're going to add 23 to both sides. That's going to cancel this out. b minus 0 equals, which leaves you with just b. Then negative 29 plus 23, that's an integer problem, so I'm going to come down here and I'm going to write it horizontally. Negative 29 plus 23, again, we're adding with integers, so I'm going to circle the larger number, find the difference, minus 23, that's going to give me 6. Larger number was a negative, so it's going to be negative 6. Our answer is b equals negative 6 for problem 3. And finally, with problem 4, I'm going to write it down. 7.9 is equal to c minus 3.4. Not 6, but 4. All right, draw the line straight down through the equal sign. We're going to add 3.4 to both sides. 3.4. That's going to cancel this one out. So you're going to be left with c minus 0 on this side, which is just c. 7.9, subtract 3.4. 9 minus 4 is going to give you 5. 7 minus 3 is going to give you 4. Decimal comes straight down. c equals 4.5. Hopefully that's what you got. Hopefully you're understanding this. It's very similar to solving an addition equation, and hopefully you'll do well on the quiz tomorrow. If you're still not understanding, please rewind and watch the video one more time. All right? See you tomorrow.